This topic has been discussed at length the past 2 to 3 years, and has easily driven the most active discussions in this particular subforum. It has also been extremely heated and, at times, even hateful. But between the vitriol and sniping, there have been some productive conversations around how raids should look in this game. Rather than attack the opposing points of view, I would simply like to state what I would like to see from raids in Guild Wars 2, with the hope that others will do the same with the personal attacks or bickering. Simply stated, I think raids should provide multiple difficulties through the use of challenge modes, but keeping a few primary points in mind. Any story in raids should be accessible in some playable, important word, format to players of many different skill levels. This transcends the hard/easy argument. It is simply a matter of presenting the same story to all players interested in it. The primary purpose of raids should always be to provide challenging content to those players looking for it. There needs to be a way that players who are not interested in conforming to a meta or spending hours min-maxing can still enjoy raids without having to add to their frustration levels. Even at their lowest difficulty level, raids should provide a challenge above what you would find in a Tier 1 or Tier 2 fractal. The first 3 encounters in Wing 4 feel about right, IMO. So as they move forward, what I really want to see is a story-focused experience that feels along the lines of Samurag or one of the preceding encounters in Wing 4, with challenge modes turning those fights into min-max nightmares that only the best of the best can beat. Again, my hope is that we can keep the discussion civil and friendly. Focus on what you'd like to see from future raids, not on how you vehemently disagree with me or anyone else expressing their opinion here. I don't really care if people like to bash their head against the same wall over and over again until one head or wall finally breaks. I won't do that, and it would be none of my business at all if ANET did not bring legendary armor into the equation. It's not that I really need it, or find it so exciting skin-wise that I have to have it. It's the pure idea that there's a game mode that hides something from me I can only get if I bend over to both the community and the numbers, which irks me. I found that idea already wrong with fractals. I thought it would be wrong with PvP. And I think of it as wrong despite being a silver major World v World player. If a game mode cannot stand on its own feet and still gets updated, it has to stop getting attention. It's actually that simple. Of course, you can throw in at this point that every other game mode will ask you to do both things too. But the difference is clearly visible, in my opinion. I assume that every creature with a thumb and some attention span can make a Tier 1 fractal. You can earn your way up to the point where you can't go on anymore on your own and need help from guild members. Through sheer determination and a little bit of luck, you can win 6 rank matches a day and fall up the ladder of PvP in a given season. You can do grunt work, like repairing and building, and still progress in World v World. It will take forever, but you can do it when and how long you want. In a raid, you either have to be carried from the get-go or pull your own weight. You can't contribute much on your own if option 1 is not available. My personal choice would be one trader in Lion's Arch that has stuff like legendary armor for sale. You suck at raids, but you excel in PvP? Very good, here's your armor. You suck at World v World, but excel in raids? Very good, here's your legendary armor. Of course, this would invalidate the so much sought validation of the effort of the raiders. But who cares about that besides, raiders? Bragging rights about that stuff can be bought through carrying is ridiculous anyway when you think about Trademaster players who can buy, sell them for $1 and rebuy a raid team again without breaking a sweat. And yes, people would look for the easier roads, but the raiding community could be sure that only people really dedicated to the game mode would actually do it. I've been playing Guild Wars 2 since beta and never really touched raiding. Usually just T4 fractals and roam around in World v World to burn some time. Trying to get into a raid, guild / group is agonizingly hard. I got the gear, and I can get golem damage 85 to 90% of a snow crow / meta battle builds easily. I just lack the raid experience because no one will invite a quote-unquote noob. T4 fractals I can just jump in and burn through in an hour. But raids is a big stop sign, making us ping LI, kill proof, and everything else. Got into a training guild 2 weeks ago, but booted from it because my real-life schedule makes me swap every 2 weeks between second and third shift. It's like applying for jobs for a game that's supposed to be fun. Makes it not fun. You people from Reddit are impossible. There's like 999,999 topics on raid being inaccessible, that there are trainings only for VG, that people are elitist, blah blah. So every time I tried to do Matthias before I finally killed him, or now when I want to learn KC or Zera, literally no one joins. I don't ask for LI, I just ask for you to be there after you read a guide / watched a video and give 100%. It's training, so fails are welcome. I waited 45 minutes today for Zera training and 5 people joined, from which 4 left while waiting for others. I really don't like bringing people down with my lack of experiences, so can you please stop being scared and join trainings? Edit. Bad English. Hi, I'm a casual player that play 2 hours / day. I really want to do raid, but after failed so many times with raid, I just can't justify myself to try it again. Most of the time when I try to do raid, it ends with our party got wiped. Someone drops from the part, get new member to fill, then wiped again, rinse and repeat until either party disband or I'm out of time. Worst part is when I go to bed after failed raid, I realize I just spent 2 hours for nothing, since failed raid give you no XP or loot. I'm pretty sure there are a lot of casual player out there that want to do raid but can't because of same reason as me. People want to do raid to make legendary, do some raid achievement, enjoy the lore, or maybe just unlock the raid mastery. My suggestion for this problem is to give raid difficulty setting, like easy and normal mode. Easy mode raid will deal less damage or whatever work, but in exchange it will give less reward than normal mode. What do you think about my idea? Also share your experience as an idea for raid 2. P.S. Thanks for reading and sorry for the bad English. Am I the only one getting annoyed by that? Because sometimes I feel like just joining pugs and do some random raids, but it's getting ridiculous. Right now where I type this, there is 1 free-to-explore group, 1 recruitment group, and 6 selling groups. It wasn't a problem like a year ago because there was only 1, maybe 2 selling guilds in LFG at max. But today it's just dumb. Would be nice if we could get some sort of blacklist for the LFG, because TBH, at least for me, I'm tired of seeing those selling LFGs over and over again. Explain it to me. How does it make any sense to ask for kill proof from Wing 6 Boss 1 for Wing 6 Boss 2? None of the mechanics is represented from the first boss at the second one. Any player who has done at least Fractals 100 CM can complete the Largos fight. Just shows how bad a commander is if he can't even realize that Boss 1 and Boss 2 are not linked in any kind of way. Ask for the previous wing kill proof or a bunch of LI that shows the player has a decent amount of experience instead of just the kill proof from Boss 1. Maybe you will stop wiping once you realize this. Note, I posted this on the official forum and it got removed. I post it here again for saving. Hi! Boss Blitz was one of my favorite events in Guild Wars 2, and I was happy it was coming back. But boy, oh boy, it ended in a train wreck. That the average player in Guild Wars 2 is not very good is not a mystery. But I never thought it's gotten this bad. What is this? I can't use my trash farm build, mindlessly following a tag, pressing 111 and get so much money that it breaks the economy? CC, DPS, mechanics, what is this? Raids? My favorite quote from a commander. Why do I have to tell someone with 20k AP that 3k DPS is not enough for gold? The only time I had fun here was at 2 a.m., getting gold with 144 minute left on the clock. People were actually using good gear. People were playing meta builds. People were using food and potions like Potion of Centaur Slaying. People broke the break bar. Is all of the above Too much to ask for? Holy F NST no. But hey, it's the first time in ages that the average player is asked to use more than one button, or actually think for themselves for a moment. What was once a fun event is now a complete est fest of people who think they are entitled to get 40 to 50 gold an hour doing absolutely nothing. To end this rant post, let me say this last quote. There are not your average everyday casuals. These are advanced casuals. So, I thought it was time to start raiding. I've been putting it off because I heard horror stories about the raiding community with words like elitism and gatekeeping thrown around, but it couldn't be that bad, right? Plus, I do Dungeons and Fractals a lot, and pretty easily too. So it shouldn't even be that hard, right? Well, day one. Since Spirit Vale is the first raid, I figured that'd be the best place to start. In order to create a chill environment, I started my own squad instead of joining someone else's, and made sure to include all welcome in the LFG to hopefully reduce the amount of unchilled dudes. The Avengers assemble and we get the ball rolling. It all goes well, we get to the first boss, and took it down in 3 tries. It was a lot of fun, too. The group was awesome, and everyone just showed up to have a good time. It seems my plan worked. Unfortunately, I later found out I just got lucky with this bunch. After the first boss, everyone leaves, and I mean everyone. I was confused. I thought, what's the point of doing a raid if you're only going to do one boss? Why even bother if you're not going to do the whole thing? Little did I know, that's just how things are done, apparently. So I managed to round up another squad. We get the ball rolling, but halfway to the second boss, the raid stops dead in its tracks. Everyone leaves. The commander stays to tell me that the raid failed because of me. He points out that I don't have an elite spec. After explaining that I like using the base class, he just says, "You can play whatever you want, but no one will take you seriously. Go do your hero points and come back. I don't ever want to see you in a raid off meta again." I could tell he meant well, but I found the whole encounter very off-putting. He was probably right, but I liked my build and I knew it inside and out, and I didn't want to change it. After failing to gather more squad members late at night, I decided one boss kill will have to be enough for me, and I gave up on finishing the raid. I considered it the day a failure at the time, but little did I know, this was the closest to success that I'll ever get. Day 2. I don't have POF, but I noticed the new Mystic Forge raid allowed me to enter anyway. I giggled and decided to take advantage of this. Got a squad together, and after explaining my situation, the local Mesmer portaled me over the gap. We put in a good effort, came close, but after the 4th try, everyone left. One guy stuck around to offer to buy me POF, but I declined his offer, but he wasn't having it. Invited me to his guild, sent me 250 gold, and refused to take it back. I felt so bad for taking it, but this guy was seriously just too nice. Awesome guy. Sadly, we couldn't find any more members, and the day ended in a failure. But I just couldn't be mad. Shoutouts to him. Day 3. Tried Mithrite Gambit again. This time, I didn't even care about completing the raid. I'd be happy with a single kill. Got a squad together, and unfortunately, got a less than patient commander. Base Mesmer? I knew it was going to be a rough night. We tried once, wiped. Mesmer, the chronos are out damaging you. Step it up, bud. I was about to say that I was sorry and that I'd try to do better, but then it turned into a less than friendly statement. This is your last chance. Well, I did step it up. We cut through the boss like butter this time. We got really close, but one of our shield people didn't save the shield for the clap and wiped. I was feeling pretty good. I thought about typing, "How was that?" But thought it might be best to not piss off the person who threatened to kick me from my own squad a moment ago. But somehow, I was still the problem. I guess base Mesmer makes you an easy target or something, but it's beyond bizarre to me that one person makes a mistake, but I take the blame for it. "Why are you using Boon food?" one member says. "What build are you?" another inquires. "Must be something OP, another answers for me. "Why are we letting him in our group?" another asked. "Just kick him and get Chrono," one suggests. "Mesmer, I thought you said you knew the fight," the commander asks. I stayed quiet. I really didn't even know what to say. The next fight started, we wiped again. Commander rage quits. "Learn the mechanics next time. This is a big meme." I had no idea what to make of the disaster. I know I was doing the fight correctly, but I got the blame for it because of my build. Couldn't get more members, called it a night. Day 3 ended in failure. Day 4. The bug allowed me to enter Mithrite Gambit had been fixed. I shrugged and did a different raid. Got a squad together and, unfortunately, I got more folks with sticks up their asses. "Hey, you know this guy's a base Mesmer, right? Is he an alt, a guildie, or a friend of someone?" "Not an alt, not a friend. Base Mesmer, you better not get us killed." Right off the bat, they hated me. I knew I was in for a bad time. The fight starts and the worst thing that could have possibly happened happened. I disconnected. "Base Mesmer left as soon as the fight started," one person said. "I DC'd, I respond. Second attempt started, wiped again. I was the last man standing, though. Held my own against the boss fight for a good 10 seconds. See, here I am, impressed with myself, thinking that I showed I was a good ally for surviving longer than anyone else. See, that's what I thought. But they still found a way to blame it on me and kick me from my own squad that I put together. The squad that said, chill run, all welcome. I was pissed! Getting kicked from my own squad was the last straw. I was done. But I thought there was no way. I was ending that day on that note. I needed a kill. So I attempted the one thing I knew I could beat. Veil Guardian. Got the squad together and ended up being the most chill, awesome group ever. I don't know how many times we attempted it, but we came very close on each attempt, and we're having a good time all the way. See, this is how the game should be. Fun. So don't make it terrible for others because they aren't good enough for you. We had one member with a stick up his ass. He wasn't happy with the way we were doing things, so one person tells him, "You need to understand pugs won't be as organized. If you can't handle that, don't do pugs." He left in a huff and we continued. New guy was really nice and played music for us while we waited for one of our guys to come back online. Our commander was a total bro. Eventually had to call it a night. We replaced him with a chronomancer who we called the Goddess, because she seemed to have everything our group lacked, quite literally an answer to our prayers. The fight starts and unfortunately, I'm thrown out of bounds and instantly die. I didn't even know that was a thing that could happen. But the Goddess pulled through and we managed the kill. Everyone laughed and said my sacrifice gave them the power to win. I had such a good time, I wasn't even mad. I loved these guys. They were the best group I ever had. I considered the day a success. Everyone leaves in good spirits. Those guys were awesome, though the Goddess whispered me, "Play another class next time." So I guess things could have gone differently had we failed to kill with her. Conclusion. While those guys were really nice and the perfect group, I have good reason to believe I was extremely lucky to have an entire squad of chill dudes, and that in reality, people like that are far and few between. Like I said, getting kicked from my own squad was really the last straw and the nail in the coffin. I felt really disrespected, and I wager that's not even the worst of it. So, with my 2 successful runs, I had an awesome time, and my last run was made so good by the people I shared it with, but I think it has to be just that, my last run. I play games that have fun! Those guys understood that, but unfortunately, most don't, and make the experience very unfun. I've seen for myself all those horror stories are true, and aren't just the worst of the worst. This is actually quite common. It sucks that this is now content I'll never experience, but it's just not worth it. Thus ends the adventures of a first-time raider, now and forever.